Writing a guitar part for a new song may be way easier than you think. In this series, I've been walking you through a song I've never heard before and taking you step by step through how I would learn a new song and write a guitar part for it. So in our first step, we drew a shape. We listened to this song for the first time and we wanted to get a feel of the energy path of our song, and it fit right into normal modern worship songs. Step 2 of this process was to run the numbers. We want to understand the principle of key. We want to think in terms of chord families. And ultimately, when we look at chords, we want to understand what number, what chord position they're in the key. This is going to unlock all kinds of techniques for us that otherwise wouldn't be possible. And we found that this song, aside from our 3 chord here, is using the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 chord. And now in step 3, we're going to try to make sense of our chord chart, and we're going to build a box. We're going to simplify the chord progressions in our song and make it way easier to follow. Today I'm using this chord chart from Worship Online, and this is similar to most charts that you see out there, probably ones that you look at every Sunday. Now in our verse sections, the chords don't seem that complex. You probably could just follow along with the lyrics and make the changes as you read along. But I don't want to do that today. I want an even simpler way to think about these chord progressions. So just like the previous sessions when we made some predictions about our song, we're going to make some predictions about this one too. And here it is. Without knowing the song, we've only heard it once. We're going to make the assumption that our verse section and our chorus section each are made up of 8 bars or 8 measures. Now, I could be totally wrong. Are there some songs, especially faster songs, that have a 16-bar chorus? Yeah. Are there some songs that will cut it short from 8 bars and only do 6 or 7? Sure. But the vast majority of the time, our verse and chorus sections, and maybe our bridge too, are in 8-bar sections. And today we're going to listen to verse 2 and chorus 2 because we want to know where these chord changes are. We know what the chord changes are, but when do they happen? And this is my big issue with these chord charts. They cannot tell you the timing of the chord changes. Our verse section looks easy enough, but when you come down to the chorus here, is this a measure? Is this B flat a whole measure? How about this E flat here, only over one word? When does the C minor 7th appear? What bar is that in? You can see nothing here is symmetrical. We have a B flat, E flat, C minor that's easy enough to see, but now this spacing makes it look like the timing on these changes is different. We know it's not. So this tells us nothing about when we're supposed to be changing chords. And hear me now, if this kind of chart is all that you use to follow along with a song, you will forever be limited in your ability to understand music and contribute to a song. I don't want to sound dramatic with that, but this chord chart is really designed for people who are playing chord changes and singing at the same time. Beyond that, it's just not that useful to us, which is why I created this other chart so we can process the song and see it in a new way and just simplify it. So we're going to make an assumption that our verse, chorus section, and maybe our bridge all are 8 bars. So what you can do, this is just for visual purposes now, we won't have this box later, but I'm going to create like a grid here. Okay. Looks just like this. And I'm going to put 4 boxes on the top and 4 on the bottom. And so each of these sections is going to be a measure. This song is counting 4, so this is going to be one count of 4. And then another count of 4 all the way through. And we're going to make another assumption now that most of our chord changes are going to happen right here on the 1. And so that's the most important chord change we're going to try to find in these verses and choruses. What chord in each of these measures goes on the 1? You'll be playing something on this first beat. That's what I want to know first. Now, a lot of songs, they'll have a mid-bar change, chord change on the 3. They'll have a passing chord change on the 4. The one we're concerned about right now in this listen through, though, is just this 1. So let's pick it up at verse 2, and we're going to count along. Now already you can see we have 4 chords here in this section, and if we're assuming there are 8 bars in this verse, let's make the assumption, and we'll make a prediction, we could be totally wrong, that there are going to be 2 bars for each of these chords here. 2 measures of B flat, 2 measures of E flat, and then again. All right, so let's listen through just the verse first and see how this falls. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Two bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There's our other 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Now I promise you I didn't cherry pick this song. I had not heard it before. But now we're in step 3. We've made a prediction every time, and every time it's been right. How many measures do we have in our verse? We had 2 for each chord here, which gives us 8 bars. So on our verse, we had a B flat. We kept the B flat here, an E flat, and then we just repeated that again. B flat, a simple structure. Now we have something symmetrical. This is easy to visualize. So now let's do the same thing for our chorus here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! Okay, so what did we have? We had a measure here for our B flat, another B flat right here. Let's just add this in. B flat and another B flat. Measure of E flat and another E flat, which really I think the change was here. But this is interesting. We have this C minor here fell within this measure. It was on the 3rd beat. We have a mid-bar change. Now we'll come back to that in a second. But let's just get the change on our 1 chord here first. So we had 2 E flats again, just like our verse. Then it came back, B flat, another B flat, E flat on the 1, and then this mid-bar change here. So do you see any similarities here from our verse and our chorus? Now, if you were just to look at the way the chords are laid out on this chart, we'd have no way of knowing that these were actually an identical structure to the chorus. But now that we've drawn the box here, do you think that's easy to visualize? Both our verse and chorus are 8 bars, and they both follow the same chord change pattern. Now, where does it vary? Well, it's this C minor chord. On this second E flat here, on our chorus, there's a C minor thrown in. Now, in a second, we'll talk about how we write this out on a chart. But I hope you can see the benefit of this. I mean, when I look at this, I don't need a chart at all. The vocals can do whatever they want. The vocalist can miss the lyrics, completely miss it, and I know where we're going in the song. I don't need this chart. Now let's do one more section. Let's do our bridge. Okay, first look at this bridge here. This looks like a giant chaotic bundle of chords here, but we know it's not. Once again, we're making the prediction that as chaotic as this looks, this is going to neatly fall within 8 bars. Now let's let the song prove us wrong. Let's find our count. 2, 3, 4. It's kind of hard when there's no drums in here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extra bar. All right. What was our prediction? 8 measures. What do you think we're going to end up with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, our prediction was right. So let's just add these chords now into our box, just the changes on the 1. So we have an E flat, major 7. I'll just put the E flat for now. This is a major chord. Then we have our F. Then we have our B flat over D. Then we have a G minor. And we're going to skip this mid-bar change for now. Let me go to our E flat again. Let's see if it repeats itself. To the F, to the B flat over D. You see a pattern? To the G minor. And then let's place this F, which was on the 3rd beat of our measure. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4. So on this last measure, we have an F in here. And there we go. That's our progression. We really have a 4-bar progression that's repeated twice. Now between this grid and our verse and chorus grid, we have a very, very symmetrical, even picture of how the chords are laid out in this song. So once we have this in place, we're going to take this now and we're going to transfer it to our new chart. So on my new chart here, I've reserved the top to rewrite chord progressions in grid form or in bar form. I know if you've not done this before, this may feel a little awkward. And I don't doubt that chord chart is just kind of like a safety zone for you. But at some point in your guitar journey, you're going to have to sort of sacrifice comfort for a short amount of time in order to make it easier to understand chord progressions. So I'm just going to put, this is our intro. And then we had a verse section, put a box around it. And we'll reserve 4 bars up here and 4 bars down here. Then we had a chorus section like this. We'll do the same there. And then we had a bridge section, which for now I'm going to put on this side. We'll put a little line here separating the two. So now let's transfer the chords over to our chart. We could write out B flat and E flat and all that, but remember, we're not playing in B flat. We need to transpose these chords to the key of A, but you know what? We've already done that. It's all right here. So you remember the first chords in the verse, it was a B flat for 2 measures, then it was an E flat for 2 measures. We were playing the 1 to the 4 chord back and forth. So if we were playing the 1 and the 4 in the key of A, what would we have? Well, it would be A to a D over and over again. So what we're going to do, instead of drawing a grid here now, whenever we play 1 chord for an entire measure, all we're going to do is just write that chord out. So we have A. And when you see an A there, what that means is we're going to play that for 4 beats. That's a whole measure. And then we had it again, another bar of A. And then we had 2 bars of our 4 chord, which is D. So this is the actual key our band is going to be playing in. Then remember, it just repeated that. A, D, and D. Now you remember the chorus. The chorus had the same skeleton to it, but we had a chord change in there, didn't we? So I'm going to write out a similar skeleton here. Now remember where those chorus changes happened? We added on the last measure here in each of these sections, right next to our 4 chord, we added this C minor, which when we come over here and take it a half step down, what do we find? It's a B minor. So when you have a mid-bar change, how do we write that out? I'm going to write the B minor right next to this D. And to tell us that they're part of the same measure, I'm going to put an underline underneath it, just like that. We're borrowing from the Nashville number system here. We're not using numbers, but this is how you would write it out in the Nashville number system. So that tells us when we're playing through this, that this is going to be 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to split the measure, 2 beats for our D and 2 beats for our B minor. And then let's write out the bridge, and remember the bridge was very similar as well. Our bridge was a 4-bar chord progression, E flat F, B flat over D, and then we had a split bar over here, G minor to an F. It's a lot of chords, but let's transpose those. Our 4 chord was an E flat, so that first one is a D. It's all 1 measure. The next one was an F, so we take that a half step down to our E. There we go, those are the first 2. Then it went to the B flat over D, which would be an A over C sharp. It's our next measure. And here comes the split bar, where we had 2 chords. We had a G minor which in the key of A is our F sharp minor, followed by this F chord, which is an E for us. And when they're in the same measure, what do? We draw an underline underneath it. And that means our F sharp minor chord is going to get 2 beats and our E is going to get 2 beats. And now what we've done, we've rewritten most of this song in a very symmetrical boxed form. Now I know this may be new to you, but you can't look at that and tell me that that hasn't simplified things a lot. Most songs are written with chord changes that are very symmetrical, and we need to take advantage of this. Now we have entered the territory of being able to actually memorize this song. For some of you, that was unthinkable. You've been so bound, that's an extreme word. You've been enslaved to the chart. But now when we write it like this, there's a possibility that we can think differently about our chord changes. I think that's pretty cool. And that was step 3. Now, in the next step, we have a very, very important stage where we start to talk about our actual band in the instrumentation. In stage 4, we're going to define our role.